If you don't know.
Now you know.
Now you know for real. Now,
Oh yeah.
Now you absolutely
Yeah.
positively know that it's happening, that it's live, it's going down, going up, going whatever way you want it to go.
Up, down, left, and right. Do, 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 do.
Whoop whoop. So that's that Freestyle Friday.
Yeah.
It's Freestyle Friday. It is.
Happy belated Juneteenth, everybody.
Is it belated?
I don't know. Yesterday was Juneteenth.
Yesterday was. What was your Juneteenth experience?
I worked all day. I didn't have the day off. I did go see How to Train a Dragon yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, your weekly movie.
Actually, it's my Tuesday is my day.
Okay.
But I went on Thursday. I went to see on Tuesday The Unholy Trinity with Samuel Jackson.
The Unholy Trinity. I didn't see it. I haven't seen it.
It's not that. There's not a lot of movie times with it. It's like one or two movie times. It just came out like one of them little small little. That was in one of the small.
Samuel L. Jackson usually don't do nothing small though.
This one, they didn't promote it heavy.
Like Samuel usually be, I think he got like the biggest box office, the most.
Yeah, I mean, people was in it, but it's just one of the small theaters on the side.
Okay,
like maybe hold like 50 people in there. It's not one of the big theaters. Okay, they didn't promote it super heavy.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay, and then there was the Juneteenth Film Festival.
Yes, last night.
Cranston Cumberbatch and Dreammakers. And everybody
over there.
Yeah. So I saw some pictures from that. I saw some video from
thank you.
I saw some pictures from the
boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. Yeah. Look like 803 Fresh looked like he was lit, man, from the live. I mean, I kind of felt like I was there. I just was watching the live. Everybody go live. It was like, okay, I really didn't have to go.
No, I wish I would have went, but it was just so much on my plate.
And the time changed.
The time too. Because originally it was 5:30 to 7:30.
Right.
So they increased the time, which was a good thing because they went from 3 to 7.
Oh, so you can spend more time in the space, but it started earlier.
Yeah, it did.
So that means you got to start getting dressed earlier, right? If you like
at 12.
Okay.
No.
Whatever. I don't know how long it takes.
So.
Okay, gotcha. And then what else? Oh, we had our neighborhood association meeting on Tuesday, which was amazing.
Right.
Some new partnerships that's being formed have been locked in, solidified. So we're partnering with I Care St. Pete. And so we're doing a family fun day July 19th with I Care St. Pete. They're going to participate in the Friday Night Done Right, which is tonight, by the way. So y'all come through to the pool party. Whoop, whoop.
It's free, right?
Yeah, free.
Come on. You have food.
Yeah, food will be provided. We got games. I got to do some shopping. That was another thing when I was telling you about the list. Yeah. So I got to go shopping, get a haircut and all of that stuff. So it's going to be one of those days. But then, so that was Tuesday. They're also going to provide meals at the back to school giveaway because, we have the Crunk Coco. Yeah. St. Pete Kids Got Talent. So as we're doing the backpack giveaway, it's going to be haircuts, hair braiding. Yeah. And we also adding some food distribution to it now. So
that's what's up.
So it's like we're going to really just like we're there to serve the community. So.
You know what? So they have lunches throughout the summer for people. You know who else give out free lunches?
No.
All children.
Okay.
During lunchtime, they give out free lunches.
Is it a part of this free lunch spot thing?
I don't know if it's a part of the free lunch because I've been spending a lot of time at All Children. And then I see the sign up there. So kids, if y'all looking at something, and then it may be you could go through the summer if you're looking for something for your kids to do, and maybe do some volunteer stuff.
Okay.
And maybe bring like some stuffed animals because kids are in there and they're stuck in there, and it may be something that even if you say, hey, can we read some books to some kids, set up something, and then maybe. Just a thought.
I hear that.
Just kind of throwing out there, like get a free meal and somebody gives you something, you give them something.
That's called a fair exchange.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what that's called.
And it's teaching them, to pay it forward.
Yep. And then we also was able to lock in, confirm, solidify a partnership with Moffitt.
Oh.
So we're doing some Moffitt. We're gonna be doing cancer screenings in September. They're also gonna participate in the cancer awareness walk. And so, yeah, we've been like locking in these partnerships as a part of the neighborhood association work.
Ooh.
And lots of good things happening. The summer is about to be lit. And then the fall, we're starting to gear up for that as well. So y'all tap in, man. Y'all check out the
tap in
on the drum. So yeah, do that. Let me see. Oh, and we canvassing tomorrow. So we going out, putting neighbor back in the hood. The idea for the canvas, we doing like membership canvases, right? So we just going to talk to our neighbors to make your friends before you need them. That's how I'm saying it.
Oh,
because like with storm season, hurricanes, and you never really know if you're gonna need some support, and if you need to rely on your neighbor for can I plug my cord in your generator, or you got some ice or some and so just really starting to understand resilience and the impact that having a closer knit community has when we trying to recover from these disasters. So it's just going out talking to people, getting to know our neighbors, inviting them to participate in the neighborhood association, and really just building up that network of neighbors in the hood. Yeah. So that when we, if anything happens, we'll be able to unite, lock arms, and do stuff. STEM Saturday. Raphael Robinson is man, Charles Park. Look at Charles Park. I just got on this Charles Park.
Is the place. It's the place to be.
It's the place to be. So STEM Saturday, from 11 to 2 this weekend.
Mr. President, you got back in office and went running like you just.
I got to tell you though, Mr. Edmund made it real easy for me.
Yeah,
he had a lot of the stuff set up. So when somebody give you an alley-oop, all you got to do is just catch it and don't drop it. Boom. Yeah, and he really like paved the way for a lot of this stuff. So if it looked like I'm just coming in doing all of this stuff, it's not like me originating. It's like I'm just picking up where he left off
and then running with it.
And just running with it because he had already had a lot of this stuff queued up and ready to go.
It's kind of like the president. Like when you see like all this good stuff, sometimes you think like, oh, the current president is doing it. Yeah. But no, it takes time to put stuff in place.
Exactly.
And so once you get it in place, like, then
the next point that come in, and that's where it's at. But I'm not going to do like how those other presidents do and make it like, oh,
it's all me.
Look at all of this great stuff I'm doing. I'm just, like I said, when Mr. Edmund passed it, the baton back to me, all I had to do was just take it and run with it. It was light on the torch. It wasn't a dim stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was just like being able to pick up where he left off, continue that work. And then he's in another role now. We're going to start talking about what he's going to be doing and what his contribution will be. The one and only Carla B, y'all. Welcome. And so it's just amazing to be in that space. I heard on Wednesday when you were talking about just like the transition, right? Like when you come in, when one administration leave or one president leave, and how you want to level up, elevate, and all of that kind of stuff. And like that's exactly the space that we're in right now. It's like when I stepped away, Mr. Edmund came in, did an amazing job.
But he still had access to you. The past administration, we have to start redefining what's cool. And then part of being cool is being cool with the person who had the job prior to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like you really got, it's sometimes hard, but you really need to have that because they have bones that they've hidden that maybe they need to pull up and hand to you or tell you like, this is where it's at. And they shouldn't hide them to make it harder for you to find them.
Right. No, it's absolutely been amazing. So, like I said, the work that you're doing, that we're doing, the stuff that you're seeing is just a result of a continuation of what was done while I was away. So I'm just walking back in saying, okay, what's cooking? And just stir the pot, keep it moving.
Funny you said that. It made me think of the word continuity. Everything that Kiana was saying made me think about the importance of continuity.
Right.
So right. When you set up good succession planning and provide space for continuity, we're able to keep it flowing.
Absolutely. And for those who are listening, you're hearing the voice of the one and only Carla B. We're celebrating 6 years of the Youth Farm and how much we've grown together in the span of time. And we're going to talk about that and a lot of other things, a lot of more stuff.
A lot of, because we got a Would You Rather, we got to Ask Kiana, probably a couple other things. So yeah, it's 8:00. So y'all know what that means. We got to pay some bills.
That's it. But we'll be right back though. So stick around. Tag a friend, tell a friend.
Baby.
give my best, I try. Someday we'll touch the sky. You're an angel, look up, baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the projects, dodging foreign objects. Street knowledge, I should've went to college. Odds stacked against me, surviving off instinct. 3 blocks from the precinct. Lil' homie caught a case, others lost family members. Product of his environment, projects produce violence in the middle of the streets, cause that's how we eat. Just a rap about the trap don't mean I ain't about peace.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together, fighting for each other till our race is done. United we must stand together, under God we are one. We must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams.
Peace in the streets, love to my brothers, love to my sisters. We all need each other. Children need their mothers and they need their dads. Taking a life that don't make you bad. The fact that you do that is so sad. Pocket watching, plotting on another man's cash. Pick up a book instead of picking up a gun. Increase your knowledge and that'll increase your funds. If everyone succeeds, then crime would decrease and people would live instead of resting in peace. Unity, that's what we need. Stand up and be a positive force in the community.
We are one, we must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams. We must stand together,
Must stand together.
all together as one.
As one people.
United we must
United,
stand
we shall
together,
rise.
fighting for
And you fight for me
till our race is
till we
done.
see God.
United we must
United
stand
we will rise.
together.
Clap with me.
Under
Clap.
God, we
Clap.
are one.
Yes, sir.
We must
Clap.
fly to the
Clap.
sun.
G beat on the
Every
track,
day,
man, and I
fight
mean
for
this is from the
peace,
heart.
not destroying
Back and
our
forth to
dreams.
prison, cause my position in the ghetto is wishing. My dreams was in my hand, man, instead of so distant. Violent crimes on my record, showing judges I'm reckless. Yes, they think I'm rich and young, like Young and the Restless. Every time I see a young brother rich in peace, that could be the only time when I watch TV. Cause the struggling and suffering is all I see. Besides muscling and hustling at war with heat, I point the finger at the devil, boy, for taking my peace. Cause the only way to live is to take to the streets. But they rate me as a villain for the killing and dealing. For what? My last resort to make me a living. I don't give a damn, tell them so what. I'm gonna survive even if they threaten me with life. The arms of poverty hung tight, making life a fight. But in the sky, we got to unite. Keep your head in the sky.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together, fighting for each other till our race is done. United we must stand together. Under God we are one. We must fly to the sun every day, fight for peace, not destroying our dreams. We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together.
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the twilight.
We must stand together, all together as one. United we must stand together, fighting for
sky. You're an angel, little baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the projects, dodging foreign objects. Street knowledge, I should've went to college. Odds stacked against me, surviving off instinct. 3 blocks from the precinct. Lil' homie caught a case, others lost family members. Product of his environment, projects produce violence in the middle of the streets, cause that's how we eat. Just I rap about the trap don't mean I ain't about peace.
We must stand together, all together.
Guess what, y'all?
Just like that.
We are back. We are back. We are back. You know, it's Friday. It's been raining all week, y'all.
It has been. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. This is your brother, John.
And this is Kiana.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project at the Community Development and Training Center, a.k.a. See That?
See That?
And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool, because smart is
the new
gangsta.
Baby.
And if you don't know,
now you know.
Tampa Bay.
Now, this is what I'm going to say, too, really quick. So all this rain, make sure like y'all buckets and stuff, pour it out, because it's mosquitoes. See, you know, the mosquitoes are there and they're horrible.
Yes.
So with all the rain, the mosquitoes are going to lay in these water buckets or anywhere where you have piles of water. So make sure that you dumping them out so we can
or
what you do.
Or what?
Cover it so you can have the water when it's not raining.
Okay.
So
here's the concept.
Okay.
So I like that because I take things out there to go grab the water and then I bring it in the house. I don't leave it outside.
Water is not bad water.
No, I definitely cup rainwater. I go.
It's just, you got to be intentional about what you do.
Yeah.
Standing water.
So we got a St. Pete staple in here. The one and only Carla B. Welcome this morning. What's good with you?
I will say this morning as I was coming over, I gained a level of appreciation for Jabbar and his dark shades in the morning.
Okay.
Where are my dark shades? I feel like I need some dark shades this morning. And Kiana, I think you were talking about something is Friday morning. I'm like, is it?
Yeah. It don't feel like Friday to you?
One day off and I'm off. I'm throwing off.
Oh yeah, Juneteenth. What was it?
Everybody thought yesterday was Friday.
And I'm getting responses that people are out of the office until Monday.
Yes.
Like I was sending emails yesterday.
Oh, trust.
And they was like, I'm out of here. I'll be back. So people taking advantage of that 3-day weekend type deal. So 4 days.
Yeah,
because you get Thursday, Friday,
yes.
Saturday, Sunday. So you get 4 days.
Trust and believe. I was thinking, what was I thinking when I scheduled the 6th anniversary for tonight? I was like, I could have had a 4. It won't be that way next year. I promise.
Okay.
I'll be gone somewhere.
Next year will probably be on Friday, right? How the calendar looks.
Yeah, Juneteenth will be a Friday next year.
Okay. And so we want to talk about that. The 6th anniversary of the St. Pete Youth Farm. Let's go.
The only person that would have thunk it might have been Brother John and a couple of others. And of course, Miss Winnie.
Yes. Oh man,
Carla B would never have thunk it. Not the stick-to-itiveness, because that we know I have. But just the lanes, right?
Yeah.
And we always talk about know your lane.
Yeah.
And this wasn't a lane that I would have said by far. The lane, of course, with young people, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could see the creativity all throughout. But just agriculture, what?
So, I want to pause there for a minute.
Good morning, Kayla.
Because I was
good morning, Tiffany.
Looking for something else, and I came across an email about the youth farm, and it was about an ad hoc committee that was being put together. And I was just looking at some of the names that's on that email. So you're right, Miss Winnie Foster, Robin Keefe, who's like really instrumental in from the city perspective in organizing that.
City planner, former city
planner. Who else was on there? Now I'm blanking out. But it was just so many people who had a hand in that you don't see, and they're no longer around. You know what I mean? And it was like, Angela Brown. She was on the email.
That's right.
Yeah, Angela Brown was on that committee with us as we were shaping that. And it was really that idea. Shout out to Judith Turner from Florida Seed, because when we were doing the New Deal for St. Pete 2017, cooperative businesses was like one of the support for cooperatively owned businesses, starting with the grocery store in South St. Pete was the way that the point of progress was written. And she said, well, there's other types of co-ops. And have you all considered a youth co-op to introduce youth to entrepreneurship? And we were like, no, we didn't think of that. Great idea. So we started organizing around this concept of a youth co-op, moved it through the different channels, and fast forward, they said, oh, we got some space that we were thinking about doing a community garden. I think there was like a survey that was happening in August of 2017. 100 people responded to the survey saying we'd love it. 82% of them or whatever said we would love to do this. And so just that momentum. And then fast forward to Carla B. Now I'm catching back up to Carla B. when she said wouldn't have thought of it.
Yeah.
The conversations that we were having around that, they were like, it started looking like they was writing a job for me when they was putting the job description together. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do that.
And I was like, I'm not trying to do that. I got many phone calls. I was like, I'm not trying to do that.
But we was like, Carla, you and me, right?
You guys legitimately. Well, before we go forward, I want to go back a little bit further than that.
Okay.
Right. Because I have found, and I have for sure paperwork where Miss Winnie, my son's father, Greg, Abasi Oti, and a bunch of these other folks back in the late 90s was already talking about this. Right.
Yeah.
So the seed, I believe, was planted so long ago that back then, for sure, nobody was thinking corporate Carla. But I think community Carla and the engagement with the youth, I think, I celebrate
909.
Carla, every time I step foot on the farm, I celebrate the decision makers that felt the value was the greater value was the young people.
Right.
And so I stand on that. The greater value, the first person that was appointed to manage me, which was hilarious. I have to laugh when I talk about manage me. I crack up.
Yeah.
But in 2019, I texted him because I remember after I was hired, he said, hey, let's meet. We met at a place on 9th Street. I forgot the name of it. It's like a diner place.
Okay.
And I said, and he pretty much gave the full impression that this is all you.
Yeah.
Like whatever you want to do is we trust the decision we made to hire you. And I remember looking at him and saying, but you don't know me.
Yeah.
He said that what he knew is that I cared enough about the youth in South St. Pete.
That's right.
So when I was talking to Darlena last night, she brought the proclamation from Commissioner Flowers, and we stood at the farm talking for like almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
And when I was telling her the same thing, never would have thunk it.
Yeah.
But I said
peer pressure.
Something peer support, because I'm usually y'all know I'm transparent.
Yeah.
I told them when I sat down, I said, look, I don't farm, I don't garden.
Yeah.
I don't, look, no, I would, this is not what I do. I don't even watch YouTube videos about, and still today I don't.
Go help Miss Winnie every now and then on the weekend.
Right. And she would always say to me, she would say, Carla, this is how we change the community. And I would always laugh and say, let me know how I can help. Right.
Yeah.
I wrote the MLK grant for her. We redid the garden in her backyard.
I remember. Shout out to Trevor Mallory, all those who were part of that.
She was the one saying, moringa. Now we have tilapia, and the tilapia eats the moringa leaves, and we're growing so much moringa at the farm, something that has all these medicinal benefits. That she was the first person to give me moringa.
Wow.
The farm is like advanced so much. Like if you go from 6 years, like from the beginning until now, because y'all have a shed, you have somewhere people can like.
You're talking about the processing center where we actually have, a bathroom.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
That's a novel idea. You have to go over to Enoch Davis.
Right. Yeah. And I have to walk have to walk back and forth. But it's not just the processing center, the greenhouse. I believe it's only been 3 years since we've had electricity. So just the things that we've accomplished in that time, has been for me when I'm always moving, I'm always thinking, I'm always looking forward. And so, it's good And it's wise for today for me to pause and reflect and appreciate and enjoy like what this has meant for our community. And so when I think about it, I think of it not, and I've said this from the beginning, not that we have, it's less than an acre, y'all. It's 0.83 acres of land, right? And then think about, take away the 20 by 40 greenhouse, take away the 10 by 20, now called HQ or the processing center or these structures. And so then you have to think about, okay, what about the growth space? How much growth space do we have, et cetera? So I knew from the beginning, this is not where we're able to grow enough food for all of South St. Pete. But man, we are going to teach you every aspect of the things that we have learned in a way that's approachable for you to want to learn it.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, because to your point, when we were thinking about the youth farm, they were calling it the garden at the time, right? But it was like, no, we can do more than that,
right?
And that cooperative business model was really at the core, like teaching entrepreneurship, teaching agricultural business, because you know, when you at that time, I don't know if it's still the case, but a lot of times when we would ask children where does food come from, they say Publix or Walmart.
Oh, trust me, I remember some of the earlier. So if it would be funny if Miss Marion was here today, she would have the list of the Carla Bristol sayings.
Okay,
but like the first time I said to the teens, you know, so teach a man to fish, and they said, you know, and he'll eat it, and he'll cook it. So. Well, so definitely one of the things we stand on is the importance of teaching others to do this, so that the groundswell is so big that even if, which I don't think anyone in St. Pete could imagine, the youth farm wasn't here, like enough people would be growing things in enough communities that everybody would have something. And that's, you know, the importance to be decentralized, to not be so centralized that if something were to go away or to be so codependent on anything that you don't have access. So I love that when I came in and Kiana's like, hey, I didn't get to pick up my avocado tree. Right. I'm like, Kiana, we got your avocado tree. Yeah, you know, let me bring this up as a side. And she's like, look, it's just like a sidebar.
We were in the middle of a whole different conversation. She was like, oh,
side note.
I didn't get my avocado.
And let me tell you what happened is that when I saw it, I told other people, because I got a mulberry bush. And so everybody is like, how did, and I'm like, the youth farm. So when I saw the avocado, I told other people. My cousin called me and said, did you get your avocado tree? I say, no, wait, you got yours?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was a fast turnaround. We posted about it. So before that, the mulberry, we had 150 mulberry trees, and we posted about it. 200 and some odd people responded. So look, I'm about to start pinging people. When you say you want something and then you don't show up to get it, I'm going to start pinging you. You're going to go on a list where next time it's being offered, you're going to the bottom of the list or something. Because look, y'all like to RSVP for stuff and not show up.
Oh yeah.
And I was waiting, and I was waiting. And then I tried to make sure all my stuff was done right, because
okay, because we make sure. Actually, on that one, the thing that we did, the number one thing we did was ensure that people in the South St. Pete CRA had first preference and priority. So if your zip code was in the 33711, 12 or 05, you got first preference to pick up. You got a head start. What a concept.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right. Like servicing the people who live in the area.
Yeah. What a concept. Right. I know people always are thrown off when I say, yeah, you know what? That's not my target area, or that's not my target demographic.
And it's okay.
Because it is clear that I was hired to solve a very specific issue in a very specific community where there was a lack of access to fresh, nutritious food. So, absolutely. I mean, I stand on that. The only time you see me outside of that arena is when there is a significant benefit to the work that we're already doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you lock in, you lock in.
Yeah. When you see me at Shopapalooza, please know that there's a $10,000 check for St. Pete Youth Farm when I walk in, not when I walk out.
Right.
So, you know, I'm there. When you see me posting about Run Fest, and I'm not a runner, I may become one day, but I'm not a runner.
I thought you were.
Oh no, they trained.
I knew you wasn't a farmer.
They trained me. They trained me to run.
You've done Skyway?
I did do the Skyway.
That's
10K.
what made me think you was a runner.
No, I walked that bad boy.
Okay.
So I'm a walker. I will walk all day. I might have been Kenyan in another life. Look, you catch me walking. But running, I'm like, why? The pounding on the knees, all that
great stuff.
That's why I'm telling y'all better come out to the rebounds, because
I was just about to say it looks so much fun.
And it is, and it totally takes the shock off your knees. So I really thought that you could twist your ankle. I thought none of that.
And what I thought of, I want to do it, right? Because I'm going to come out there and do it. But
July 4th, come on out.
I said to myself, oh, I'm going to get some Charlie horses. I need to go ahead and get some.
Right, you need to prepare for the and that's the one thing that I talk to people about. I say, tell me, like, what did it feel like for you after? I literally am following up with people because I want to see. I don't work out. Let's just cut to the chase. I want to. I will one day. I'm not regimented that way.
Yeah.
But I'm fit because I'm active, right?
Right.
So when I got on, like, I'm full steam ahead. Like, oh, this is fun. I want to do this. And I didn't feel anything. So I'm like, did I not work out hard enough in these shoes? But I expected to feel something in, for sure, like you're saying, in my calf muscles, in my thighs, like sore. I can't walk the next. Nothing. Not even this much. And so people who have done it, somebody said, somebody in their 60s or something that did it said that someone told them, Carla trying to get rid of you. And they did it, and they said,
you trying to take them out?
Take some of these comments.
Oh, go ahead.
No, but thank you for that. And I mean, that's just an example of the different types of activities that are happening over there. Good morning, Antonio. I see you, big brother. I'm actually heading your way in a few minutes. Mama Blue says, kudos to my sis to empower and teach just not about growing all things, but the respect and customer service that the youth show. I love it. Ms. Teresa says sustainable living is vitally important, and the St. Pete Youth Farm is teaching that. Grow your own food. She also remembers when Miss Winnie Foster was insisting that we taste and eat moringa when we planted it in her grow boxes on MLK Day. Mama Blue says she's there. And then also Miss Teresa said, I'm glad that I got my mulberry tree and it's already grown double in height. Yeah. So tell me about that, like this export that you're doing now. Like how did you get into that space?
So this is a continuum of the conversation we're having about the importance of not being centralized and being decentralized, right? So it started with I remember when I was asking for milk crates, and I was asking for it just to organize the shed because we had so much stuff. I'm like, what if I had something to organize? And I looked up how much it cost to purchase the milk crates, and each one was about, I think it was anywhere between $13 and $24. And I wanted about 25 of them. And I'm very frugal in how I spend the farm's money. That's like, man, forget that. We can reach out to the community. Somebody has some milk crates somewhere.
Sitting under the tree.
Right. Oh, everybody got some of this. And I mean, everything from that, pavers, you name it. I reached out to the community, the first banana tree we bought, everything else was given to us by people in the community.
I'm on a banana tree.
When I asked for the cousins, you missed that distribution. We did that.
Yes.
So we'll bring it back.
So,
Lord, Kiana's making a list while I'm here. So then we did. So then I got, somebody delivered me, I forgot how many pallets of milk crates, right?
Okay.
Like 7 pallets of milk crates.
Wow.
560, 80, something like that of milk crates. And they sent me a picture and said, hey, you said you wanted milk crates. So you want this? And I wanted, it was a free clinic, right?
Okay.
So somebody called me from the free clinic, said, hey, we got all these milk crates. You want them? And I said, yes. And this is how everything happens. I always go, yes, because I'm always thinking, even if I can't use it, I guarantee you I can find people in our community to use it.
Yeah.
So here came they had forklift stuff to move it in place and stuff. And we're like, what am I going to do with all? And then we turned it into plant pots. And then we started doing the mini garden workshops. And then people started coming, and each mini garden had 4 plants in it. And we talked about propagation. And so it was easy for us to do that because I'm also teaching about propagation. And if I give you this one plant, you can also make 15 of them yourself, etc. And so we were already doing that on that scale.
Right.
And then, Maven with the Office of Sustainability.
Maven Rogers, shout out to Maven.
So she came in and she came to the farm and she's like, Carla, I really want to work with you. I need your help with this. I said, I'm busy. I can't help. Here's what I can do. I can tell you should reach out to Brother John.
Yeah.
Reach out to Javar. I would love to see initiatives in west of where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that she didn't give up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She then called me after the Green Thumb Festival and said, "Hey, Carla, I got some plans. Would you like those?" No, I'm not turning that down for the community.
Love it or like it, you're straightforward. You gotta respect.
Oh, yeah.
Like you never wonder what's in your mind. Like you be like, yeah, nah, I'm good, right? And you what? Yeah, no.
Yeah, nope, can't do it.
Yeah, or I can.
Right.
Or,
because my philosophy is simple. No one person in this community has the answer for this community. You want to know what the people want, talk to the people, right? That's what I do.
Yeah.
So all the decisions.
Look, that's how the farm got there.
Yep.
We surveyed the community, and the community said this
are informed by the farm. So I always say it's led by a 56-year-old woman, but the first word in youth farm is youth, right? So I got to check in with them. So sometimes when you hear me say no, I mean, I go back to the youth and say, "Hey, we were asked to do this. What do y'all think? Do y'all want to do this? Why not?" Of course, I'm supposed to be there to help provide guidance. So I'm going to say, "Here's why we're doing this. Does this make sense to y'all?" "Oh, yeah. Okay. Then we in," right? So we're in together. We're out together, because one of my first things, if we were to put it on the wall, is I don't want to be left holding the shovel. So I knew going in, this is not no Carla thing. Right? This is a community thing. This is your space. This is our space. When we acquire things, we acquire it. This is a community asset.
Right.
So we did the bread making workshop. And what am I asking the people? What if you're learning how to make bread? And what if the farm were to say the oven is on Tuesdays, and you brought your bread that you've shaped and everything, right? And then we're able to bake it for you. Don't you want to live in that community?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
all right, Mr. What is it? The Mrs. Hen?
Huh?
I don't know.
The little story. Is it red? What is it? Mrs. Hen, when she go and get the bread, she asks for help.
Girl, I was born and raised in Guyana.
Okay.
And in New York.
And I was here, but I wasn't paying attention. Nursery rhymes.
Kiana, please.
I was listening to Beastie Boys and Run
DMC. Nursery rhymes at the farm by Kiana.
my rhymes was, love eating chicken.
She go ask everybody, "Can you go get the seeds for me?" They're like, "No, I'm too busy." So she go get it. Can you get the dough for And then she say, "No, I'm too busy." And then when she baked
the bread, they wanted
the bread. She said, "No, you was too busy to go do this."
Okay. The moral of the story
is that you need to put in to eat.
Okay, I hear that.
Yes.
So you listen to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. If you're just chiming in, we have the one and only Carla Bristol from the St. Pete Youth Farm, and we're talking about the 6th anniversary of the farm, which is happening tonight from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I was so disappointed. We're doing Friday night done right tonight, so
that's right.
So I won't be able to get over there.
We got to call her.
Definitely sending lots of love and hoping that folks will be able to pull up and come through. Carla, you on there? We're talking with Carla Bristol about St. Pete Youth Farm. What's on your mind?
Good morning, folks. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Of course, this is Don J, and I'm calling in to at least congratulate that lady there, that young lady, Miss Bristol, on the 6th anniversary of the Youth Farm. I mean, it's a wonderful thing in the community.
Thank you so much.
It is something that's well needed. Of course, it's doing a lot. In fact, I want to boast off my trees. I got some plants. I got some bananas, and they're growing. They're thriving.
You got bananas?
Yes. You can't get none of my banana tree. I'm sorry.
Oh man, I thought I was your girl.
And yes, the youth farm they gave away a lot of trees the other day. It's quite commendable. I mean, Miss Bristol, she's doing a wonderful work with the youth farm. I am watching it, and I'm really, really proud and impressed. So, let's pick up the community for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling, Don J.
Yeah.
If you don't know, he's the station manager, proprietor, what does he say, chief cook and bottle washer of 99 Jams. And we appreciate all that you do in the community as well, and definitely a supporter of the youth farm.
And since he called really quick, 99 Jams will be live tomorrow.
Yes.
From noon to 2 p.m. with the Saturday Shops present Sundown Beatdown.
All right.
With the Beatdown band live on the Deuces.
Right on.
Okay.
So pull up, y'all. It's a lot happening still. So after Juneteenth, it's still going. It didn't stop with Juneteenth.
No.
And I think this summer is one of the most active that I've seen in a while. It's a lot of things that are happening. It's a lot going on. A lot of people are engaged and doing some amazing work. So Carla B, I want to go back a little bit when you were talking about, because I hear you talk now and the way you're teaching us farm. Like how did you get to this space now from like, this is not my thing, this is not what I do, for those who may be wanting to step outside of their comfort zone and get into a space that and make a contribution. You know what I mean? Because you're making an amazing contribution that started, you know, it's almost like Jonah. Like, no, I don't want to do that. But then you end up doing it, and now you're excelling in it. What was that journey like? Tell me about like year 1, year 2.
So I'll tell you, it started in 2014, and it started before that. Right?
Okay.
So before that, I would have something called Success Brunch for women at my home. And the only question, and it had to be diverse women. So race diversity, economic diversity, age diversity. So we're always talking about race primarily, but cultural diversity, right? Because I believe that the stew tastes better when you put the ingredients that need to be in the stew. And I don't have all the ingredients, right? So they come from other places. So I had this concept. What if I brought together a group of women that were diverse, and I asked them one question and one question only: what would you rather be doing? So I didn't charge women to come to my home, and most women were suspicious, as most people in St. Pete normally are. Why is she doing this? How is she able to do this and provide a keynote speaker and brunch and food and all this stuff, and she not charging us? Something is up, right? What she want? And I would challenge people by saying, what if this isn't about you at all? What if it's about me on my journey to figure out what I'd rather be doing, right?
Okay.
So I was a 6-figure earner in corporate America, top sales, like winning trips to places like Monte Carlo, etc. And I just told the story last night. And I was watching my daughter in particular become someone who wasn't as community focused the way I was. So I was the person giving the money to things and raising money for things, but I wasn't necessarily so in it that she would live that with me.
Yeah.
And so I kept saying, what would you rather be doing? What would allow your daughter, specifically my daughter, because my son is 8 years older, to see the importance of community? And I mean, you know, live by example.
Yeah.
So when I kept fighting about the woods, and I'm working, and I'm somehow making time to be at every last one of those housing authority meetings.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And helping a young woman, I decided, you know, what do you have control over? So I had control over, I had access to capital, right? And I wanted young people to have the same caliber of art, access to the same caliber of art that looked like them that my own children had in our home, right? And I recognized the importance of that, like of exposure.
Okay.
And so thus born the gallery, right? 909. So Gallery 909 was born as a cultural hub in St. Pete.
Yeah.
Not because I paint or any of these things, but I wanted young people to feel comfortable in the gallery, so they would come in and hang out. And that was like literally a thing, because I saw the landscape of art building in St. Pete, but not for people of color, not for artists who weren't getting the type of opportunities. And so I felt I could do something about it, and I did. And so really that was the beginning of the shift of like, no, you don't reduce how you're living, so that you can live a more fulfilling life, right? So a more purpose-filled life. So, so that was that. So when the Walmart was closing, I mean, I never bought produce from that Walmart. It was known that the stuff was already expired or a day.
The quality of the food was horrible.
Meat was one day before expiration, no matter when you went. Things like Go-Gurt, things like baby formula was sometimes weeks beyond expiration, things like cheese, etc. So I already had experienced that. So when it closed, if you remember, I held a meeting at Enoch Davis Center. And from that meeting, I actually produced a almost like a white paper on what the community actually said. And the community said, hey, this wasn't the best store for us anyway. The narrative that's being told is that, you know, that it was theft, etc. But we would rather go someplace where we can get fresh. Right. And so then I started getting those phone calls from people like, I think you, Terry Lipsy Scott, and others saying like, hey, and I kept saying agriculture. No way. But, you know, if I commit to doing something at the time that I'm committing, I'm in. Right. So I was going to say this earlier, but one of the biggest compliments, of course, I receive compliments in different ways from different people. So when Juggler says, when Jug comes by the farm, and he said, man, your tamarind tree is doing better than my tamarind tree, and I gave you the tamarind tree, and I had the one. Why is yours doing better? Like, I mean, that is literally like I was going to tell him the other day, but as far as I'm concerned, he's my community godfather, right?
Yeah.
And then when people like Renee Flowers, she's never heard me tell this story, but I've told it to other people. She saw me one day and she said, "Thanks for sticking around," or something like that.
Okay.
So thanks for sticking with it.
Okay.
But for me, it was like she spoke for the entire community, knowing the importance of not letting your feet off, something.
Yeah.
So
and that consistent presence and just being able to continue.
But I mean,
because it's easy to get going.
Is right. Yeah. So the stick-to-itiveness, that is me. So I celebrate those people that had the decision to make. And the best one I'd ever heard was Nikki Gaskin Capehart was telling a story one time, and she said, "Carla, do you mind if I use an example? Do you mind if I use you as an example?" And I know Nikki, but look, we didn't go to school together. We're not the same age. I'm older than she is, etc. So I wasn't born here. So I'm thinking, what story does she have about me that she wants to share as she's facilitating a workshop for an organization? And she tells a story of coming to my house when I had a birthday party for my daughter, and that she said she talks a lot about what's your brand, right?
Yeah.
And she said, "I'm at your house. You're having this birthday party big, and all these people are there. You didn't invite me to your house." She said, "But somehow you noticed that I wasn't eating, and you came over to me and you said, 'Hey, I noticed you're not eating. Like, what? You don't like the food?' And she said, 'No, I don't eat that.' And she said, 'You could have just left it at that. But you said to me, oh, girl, please, I cooked some salmon last night. You want salmon instead? I can get you some salmon.'" So for her being on the decision committee, she said, when I think about who do we want to work with our young people, the kind of person that would know in the midst of all of this going on to celebrate her own child, like she would notice one guest not eating. Like she's like, that kind of person is the person.
Wow.
So, you know, we did good, St. Pete. Deciding that this woman born in South America, raised in Brooklyn, and 10 toes down for South St. Pete specifically, was the right fit. So I celebrate us for being able to champion that kind of decision, because it was a good decision.
And so tonight, 6 o'clock, what can people expect as a part of the celebration? You always have something up your sleeve.
So tonight, expect food, expect music, expect to see those, how we talk about the fitness and the soca bounce. Expect to see that live. Weather permitting, we were unveiling our shuffleboard courts tonight as well.
Wow.
So we have portable shuffleboard courts. All the teens actually are learning how to play shuffleboard. So shuffleboard at the farm is a thing. And they're 10 toes down in on this shuffleboard, games, and just reminiscing, drumming. So we just loaned out the drums for a Juneteenth event. And I'm like, why don't we have drumming going on? We need drumming. So it's just, again, the farm is just like the gallery was, a cultural hub. And I tell people, I invite you there for everything but farming. And you discover you're sitting where food is growing. And that's to me is how it's done. That's how it's done.
You know what? Now that you say that, I see that in my mind. That's exactly how it happens, because you come in for something else, and then you end up like over here by the collard greens, and you start looking at the trees.
Sugar cane.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, what? Sugar cane? Soon coconut.
That's on your list too?
It is, because sugar cane go back to like my youth, because my granddaddy used to bring us sugar cane.
But not everybody granddaddy, because I had that was my granddaddy too.
And then you used to cut it, and then you just suck on the sugar cane.
I'm gonna cut up sugar cane for y'all tonight. That's grown right at the farm.
Wow.
So it's for us to be able to continue to grow, like, we're thinking juice hub, cafe, a woman. I happened to pull up to the farm the other day on a weekend day, and a lady is talking to her husband about the farm, like she knows, like she's ever set foot inside, right? So she said, and over there where the umbrellas are, they have a cafe. And I said, well, thank you. Thank you.
However,
you're right. I'm working on that. But you're ahead of me.
Speak it in existence. But you said that you wanted it, so because I remember
the universe knows.
Yes,
we know that this is what it's going to be. It's going to be that you take your lunch break and you're like, nah, I'm going to go hang out at the farm. I'm going to bring my lunch and eat there, or I'm going to see what they got, what they've seasonally cooked today. And that's what I'm going to partake of, So bread, you name it, bread making workshops. We're not stopping. I've been looking for the person to teach the soap making workshop. We talked about this the other day again. Yep. So soap making at the farm, because I want more households in St. Petersburg to know how to do for themselves than any other community in America. So the magic of St. Pete, and specifically South St. Pete, has to become a real reality. And to do that, we have to be self-sustaining.
Mama Blue say salsa coming.
Yes. Come on, girl, bring it.
We got Brandy Gabbard. Shout out to Councilmember Gabbard.
Yes, always supporting. I gotta say that day 110 toes down.
Great
Brandy
to see y'all this
Gabbard.
morning. Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
And like not just with business, but actual policy. Like she's been doing some amazing work on the policy end to really help to bring urban agriculture to life and make it more accessible in our community. So thank you, Councilmember Gabbard, for all that you do to support urban agriculture in the city of St. Petersburg. So tonight, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. over at the St. Pete Youth Farm. I want to talk to you too now, because so we got 6 years behind us. Tell me about some of these cohorts. So like as the youth, move through, where are they now?
So we have young people in the Navy. We have different branches of the military. We have And it's always, how maybe teachers and educators look back and they may have told or thought somebody wasn't going to be that successful. Yeah. And then here they are as, what do you call it? Not nurse practitioners, but what is it called?
RNs.
Yeah. And I think, and they'll pop, and they will pop up on me. Yeah. In any given week, week to 2 weeks, I have a former ambassador pop up on me and be like, hey, Miss Carla. Oh, and one of the biggest things was the first and second cohort that we brought in. They, I would call them my angels, right? So I still call teens my angels, or I call young men sir, or young women madame. And they would just pop up like, no, we are your angels. I'm like, girl, please. So
because now they're adults or young adults, and
for sure over 150 teens. We've given out over 700 plus mini gardens. So times 4 is how many plants. Yeah, and that's without these recent distribution of plants, thanks to the Office of Sustainability and Maven. They're just like, what do you want? And I mean, the biggest blessing for me is having the amount of support that I have, bar none, just all around me all the time, right? Like, Carla, what do you need? And it's the ideas are faster than the execution, because some things take time, and that's hard for me. So I think a lot of people that work with me, I hear people say, no, if she said it tomorrow, it's probably going to get done. Right. And so it's, like we did the painting recently, where you were able to put a motivational quote into a painting, and somebody says you should do that for caregivers, and I'm like, we should. We have an open mic coming up last Thursday of the month, and that open mic, that wasn't me. I didn't birth that idea. It was the neighbor across the street. Yeah, 2 young men that live across the street. They came over to visit, and they said, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing open mic?" I said, "You just thought about it. Let's do it." Right. And
so it's responsive to what the community is also bringing.
So if y'all want it to continue, you help support it, right? You support it by showing up. That's it.
That's my organizing model. What? That's a great idea.
Yeah.
When you gonna get started?
Right.
How can I support you in getting started with your idea?
Yeah. Is it. So but you know what? That young man, he pinged me. He's out of town today, but he went all up. He told me, I printed some flyers. He went up and down Central Avenue distributing the flyers. He also distributed, he said, to make sure they get to all the Parks and Rec building. I work on the Parks and Rec. Shout out to Mike Jeffries, Rick Kraft, and others, Lucinda, and those who basically just say, we support you. What else do you need? How can we support you? Right. And I mean, that has been the biggest blessing, because everybody who knows me knows, especially Mike, knows, like, I'm a stallion. You do not try to like tie me down or give restraints. You say, we trust her, let her go. We know she's going to do what's right. And I think that's what's allowed us to be where we are and where we're going.
That's amazing. So again, the St. Pete Youth Farm 6-year anniversary is happening tonight. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. What's the address? It's 12. Is it
1664 12th Street South?
There we go. I know the 12 in there.
1664 12th Street South. The important thing for you to know is that it's directly north of Enoch Davis Center. So if you get to the Enoch Davis parking lot, you're at the youth farm. Just look over that mural wall. We're on the other side of that wall. That's where the gate is.
I love that. All right, so Kiana, you want to tell the people how they can support us, and then I can do Ask Kiana?
Okay, yeah. So you can press the donate button on 99 Jams.
The bird.
Or you could go to if you're on Facebook, you can send us stars.
What's a star?
So if you've never received stars before, Facebook give you your first 200 for free. Right now, the best thing about the stars, they are cheap.
Really?
They're only a penny.
Wait, you can buy something for a penny?
Only on Facebook.
Okay. They about to stop printing pennies, making pennies.
Yes, so listen, but it even gets better.
Tell me
how. Ask me how.
How does it get better?
Yeah,
the more you buy, the cheaper they are.
Wait, so
no, there's no currency below a penny.
It's less than a penny.
There's no currency
than a penny.
It's called stars.
Stars. And so what we say is, if you get your first 200, give them to us because we told you about it. It didn't cost you anything, so send them on over. Now, if you like something, you didn't like something, you was confused about something, it don't matter what emotion it pulled from you.
Right.
Send us some stars.
Please,
let us know that you're there.
Oh, wow.
And you can do that.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Or you can also decide to underwrite a segment if you like.
Yes.
You know,
you can do that.
Yes.
What's the cost of a segment?
We can send you that.
Yes.
Because it varies.
Okay.
The organizational size and all of that stuff. Because you know what Publix pays is going to be different from what Carla B pays. So, so if you're interested in underwriting the segment, please.
Yes, brought to you by CPU Farm. I love it.
So there's so many different ways that you can definitely support 99 Jams and the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. So you see, when we go on break, we have advertisement there. You can send us flyers, things like that. We can talk about that. If you're an artist, we can put your video up and let the audience see it as well. So hit us up. We have ways to help expand
and grow. Let's go. And so with that in mind, we're going to do the Ask Kiana segment. And the Ask Kiana segment is brought to you by the One Community Grocery Co-op. The Grocery Co-op is on a mission to create a grocery store that truly serves our community, by the community, for the community, and we need your help. Joining as a member owner means you're investing in healthier food options, local farmers, and a stronger neighborhood economy. Visit www.ocgc.coop to become a member today and be a part of building a grocery store that's owned by us, for us, and we can absolutely make it happen. All right, Kiana.
Yes.
How do you ask for help when life has taught you not to? Dear Kiana, I've been carrying a lot for a long time, and I'm at a point where I know I can't keep doing it alone. But asking for help feels like one of the hardest things in the world for me. I've been let down so many times by family, friends, even people who claimed they'd always have my back. When I've opened up in the past, it either got thrown in my face, turned into gossip, or was used to take advantage of me. So now, even when I'm drowning, I stay quiet and just push through. To make it worse, I was raised to be strong, independent, and to figure it out on my own. Admitting that I need help feels like weakness, even though deep down I know it's human. But I'm tired, Kiana, and I know I can't heal in isolation. How do I learn to trust again? How do I let people in when everything in me is telling me not to? And how do I ask for help without feeling like I'm setting myself up to be hurt again?
A Black woman's dilemma.
Oh, this is a hard one because one, I don't know what you're asking for help for.
Okay.
Right? Because you could be drowning in different areas.
Okay.
And so depending on where you're drowning at depends on where you're going to go to ask for the help at.
So let's keep it high level, broadly.
You know, I mean, even,
that's a thing for
but
real.
This is a Black woman's dilemma.
And
Black men too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
like I just posted this, so that was part of what, like I did a preview because I saw this letter and then I posted it on. But Black men, you really don't understand how hard it is for a Black man to ask for help. Yeah,
I think it's hard,
and it's just broad.
Yeah. One is that when it's hard when you have been burned, and I can tell you this. Whoever the the lady who or man who wrote this letter, because it doesn't say. Is that I guarantee that you probably have somebody in your corner that because you have been burnt, you don't trust who they are.
That they actually
right.
there to really support
and what
you,
happens is usually you don't count them for what they are. You count them for what possibly could have been. Right. And people show up for you and they're right there next to you, but you don't trust it because the people who didn't show right.
Okay.
So you really have to
having trauma conversations these days. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you really have to reevaluate your circle. And sometimes you have to walk out of it. It's okay to get professional help.
Okay.
Right. It's okay to then step back. And then if you need to figure out who's really in your corner, start writing down the people and thinking about the things they do when they show up when you don't ask for it.
Okay.
Because a lot of times you ignore all of that. Like the person who like you don't think about like because they're always there, you don't realize that they got right.
Okay.
And then you're looking for what you have somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
You know, nothing but love and all the ball places.
Right.
Looking for love.
But you disvalue what you have.
Yeah.
And so you're looking and somebody's probably right there screaming like, I got you.
Right.
Like, let me. And you like, no, I can't trust you. And I'm like, wait, you can. Like, tell me what I've done for you not to trust me. And you like, well, you could have done this. If it would happen, this will. But no, it hasn't.
Just like hypotheticals, but not
a
real
lot of times
situations.
you see in this situation, you do the hypothetical that stop you from leaning on people that will help you.
So you've already made hypothetical decisions that wasn't based in actual facts. But I think a lot of times, if I'm going to make some assumptions also, I'm going to make the assumption that this person is a giver. So they are so constantly giving that it hurts that it's not being returned. So
that's a real thing.
So that's a real thing. Normally the person who is, so the world is filled with all kinds of people, right? And you can't have takers if you don't have givers. Right.
Yep.
So I think that sometimes that person, whomever they are, have to sit in a quiet place and first acknowledge that they deserve to receive.
Okay.
Right. A part of the gift of who you are as a giver is you have to sometimes be willing to receive. And you have to know that you're worth receiving. And so I think that's a thing that plays a role in that as well, is pausing and saying, you know, like sometimes it's not being reciprocated because you are not in a place where you're open to receiving. You're saying it, but you're doubting it. So already you're closed to it happening. Yeah. So open up the channels.
No, and I hear that because you're right. Just thinking about it personally, like when you are, I guess we would say the strong friend, and you're used to always being the one that's giving, you're the one that's offering help. And actually one of the brothers put it on the post. It's like these expectations. And so you have these expectations like, you know, well, you don't need anything. And if you do ask for something, the response is like, you need some help. Like,
right.
And so once you start getting that, and once you start getting that, it kind of puts you in a space where you don't want to ask because you're not expected to ask. You're not expected to be the one who needs help.
But sometimes, again, you're asking the wrong person.
That's true too.
Right?
That's what you be said. So, let me tell you what you be said.
Oh, go ahead. I didn't
because y'all on the same page. She said you may have asked the wrong person or at the wrong time. Your blessings don't always come in the box you expect.
Right. And when I say the wrong person, if somebody else is down and you're always giving to them, that might not be the person that you need to go in and ask for that favor because you know their situation.
Yeah.
And
like
you're
you know that they can't help you. Right?
You know that
they're not in a position to help you. I say it that way.
And so that's what I'm saying. You really have to be honest with yourself and reevaluate things. And then on top of it, it's okay to put it out. We're human. Vulnerability is a real thing and it's hard to do it. But it's respected. And you'll really realize that when you just say it, there's going to be people talking about Jesus. So you ain't finna get away from it.
That's the thing too. Like, look, we can spend a whole lot of time on this because now that I'm thinking about it, that's another one of those barriers. We talked about that in those mental health conversations. It's like if I'm coming to you and I'm being vulnerable, how did Rakisha said, sometimes the listening ear becomes the running mouth. And once you've had that experience, now you don't trust the listening ear because this is for you, but it's not for everybody. But the confidence sometimes is not there.
Right.
Because now you seeing or you hearing what you gave them in confidence coming back. And so that will also be, so it's so many layers and different aspects of this whole help button.
It is, but you got to ask for help and you can't. So here you go. Do you rather it be the running ear, go back and you drown? You don't say nothing,
and just drown,
or somebody end up repeating what you said. It can't, but you better. That was my situation. Yeah, I couldn't pay my rent. I needed help, so I called. But you see, I'm still in my house. So do you rather be evicted?
Right.
Yeah.
And not say nothing because you didn't want nobody to talk, because they're gonna talk about your eviction.
Right. Can't win with that.
They're gonna talk.
So talk about me getting help.
So do you rather for them to talk about your success or how you felt because you didn't ask for the help?
True.
Because they're gonna talk regardless. You got to put your pride aside. And y'all know I live by the motto: do I have to be right, or does the situation have to be right?
Yeah.
And you have to stop being like, oh, perfect images don't exist, y'all.
Yeah.
Facts.
Dressed up messes.
No, they don't exist. I don't care how Facebook make you look, Instagram, TikTok.
Oh, no, that's
all
another
of that.
thing.
Like, I don't care.
Right.
Listen.
Church.
Right. But they don't exist.
It's true.
They don't exist. And so when you realize that you take yourself off this perfection, and you be like, I'm human. Everybody needs help.
Yeah.
Everybody.
This is what I'll say too, because I say this a lot. In here it mentions admitting that I need help feels like weakness. It's not a weakness. It's actually a sign of intelligence. Because if you're able to see that you need help, like that's wisdom. Not weakness. And so don't allow that to be a thing, like knowing that, hey, I'm struggling with this, I need help. Like that's a wise decision to make, even though you do have to sometimes swallow a lot to build up to that spot to ask for help.
That's a strength. That's a superpower.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because it's a superpower to say like, hey, I'm handling this household. I need help. Right? Because your household is gonna burn if you don't reach out and do it. When people depend on you and you need to depend on other people, you have to say it.
Yep.
Right on.
Close mouth.
Don't get fed. And a lot of people are waiting. Again, you don't know. Like I know there's everybody not good people. We know that, right?
Yeah.
But there's somebody waiting to help you carry that water. It's somebody helping
work on your discernment.
Yes.
So listen, that was the Ask Kiana. We got 1 minute left.
Seconds.
But I do, now that I'm looking, that's actually something that's happening tomorrow. So there's a Breaking the Silence Men's Empowerment Luncheon tomorrow from 3 to 6 at Campbell Park for a powerful men's health awareness event hosted by Hidden Voices. It's an uplifting luncheon designed to provide a safe, supportive space for men to have real conversations about mental health, wellness, and purpose. There's a list of speakers. It's going to be a great panel. So, and it says here, it's not weak to speak. Real strength is found in seeking help and healing. So I think that's a great opportunity for you to practice what was preached this morning. Final thoughts, Carla B. What you want to say to the people?
I'll say the thoughts, though, is still on my mind, which is that every Monday at the Youth Farm, you can come and get support for mental health and wellness. We have a community mental health and wellness that we've been doing for over September will be 2 years that we provide every single Monday. You can come to the farm and get that. And it's in various ways. So, I talked about the art project we did. That's mental health and wellness. Also want to thank people like Deborah Fix Saunders, the mayor, and city council for their support. I thank Parks and Rec and individuals. Everywhere you look at the farm, y'all, the fiber of the farm is laced in this community. So it's a staple and it's going to be here, and that's our intent. So
come out to
thank
celebrate
you for your
tonight.
Continued support through these 6 years.
Tomorrow's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is. So there's more that needs to be done and needs to be said. Y'all can go to the Facebook page. You can also go to St. Pete Community Calendar and find out what's happening and tap in.
Yep, tomorrow sundown. Beat down.
You got it?
Yeah. And then stay tuned for Sister Hughes.
Make you lose your shoes and shout all around the house. This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And this is Kiana.